Okay, so today we are going to talk about Rhodiola rosea, the benefits, but also how to take it, in which form and which dose, so you actually get those amazing benefits. Because sometimes I hear people say, yes, I tried Rhodiola, but it didn't work. And I'm asking, okay, how much did you take? Yeah, I took 1 capsule, just as it said on the bottle. And I'm really tired of hearing that. You have to take the right dose, just like with any herb. So we're going to talk especially about dosage and in which form to take Rhodiola, and a little bit also about the benefits. So let's dig into the weeds. Okay, so Rhodiola rosea, this is the name of the plant. And the part of the plant that is used as a medicine is actually the root. So we have just the dried, cut up root that you can buy in bulk to make a tea out of, or you could grind it into powder. You could put this powder into capsules, and there are also many extracts of rhodiola available. So these are all made different. So we have to see, you have to find out the dose. You know, one product, one extract is not actually really comparable to another extract because they might be made in different ways. They might have different concentrations. So we cannot really compare these. But I give you a really simple formula how to find out your dose and how to safely take it, and that you actually get those benefits. So really just a short overview. Rhodiola is an herb in a category that we call adaptogens. So those are herbs that help you with your response to stress, with the body's response to stress. Those herbs are really good for mental health, for depression, anxiety, several forms of anxiety, social anxiety, morning anxiety, any kind of anxiety, any mood disorder and mood issues. Actually, they balance the hormones, they balance the immune system. Sometimes I'm a bit sad, you know, there is a big misunderstanding about this immune balancing aspect of those adaptogens, or in this case, rhodiola. Yes, they do balance the immune system, but not in a way that you could say they stimulate the immune system. And sometimes you hear that, yeah, they stimulate the immune system. And from there comes this misconception that maybe rhodiola and other adaptogens or other immune stimulating herbs wouldn't be good for certain conditions, like for example, autoimmune diseases, because it sounds like an autoimmune disease is a disease where your immune system is in overdrive and actually kind of too active, which is also a misconception, because actually an autoimmune disease is just a misguided immune system. It's an immune system that just does the wrong things at the wrong time, or towards a certain certain things in the body. It attacks the wrong things in the body. Let's say it attacks the own tissues, which of course it shouldn't. But we cannot say, you know, an autoimmune disease is something where the immune system is in overdrive, and that's why we have to calm it down. And also we can't say, you know, if you get frequently sick and you get the cold and the flu and some things like that, that your immune system is too weak. Yes, it is too weak in a kind of way, and we have to balance it, we have to modulate it. And I like to think about those herbs like rhodiola or other adaptogens, other immune balancing herbs, that they are more like immune modulators. They don't necessarily kick your immune system into some kind of overdrive, and it can go too far, you know. I mean, herbs, they're very different from pharmaceuticals. They're very different from drugs in that way, that a plant has so many constituents, so many active components in the plant that work together synergistically in our body. And a pharmaceutical is like one substance, one molecule that does a certain thing in our body, totally against the will sometimes of our body, or, you know, it just forces the action upon the body. And herbs do not act in that way. So I really want to dispel a bit the myth that certain herbs could be too immune stimulating or something. You know, normally many herbs are regulating in a way, especially the herbs in this adaptogen category. Of course, some herbs do also with kind of a brute force certain things and can force certain actions upon the body. I mean, we know they're also toxic herbs, of course, but just in this category of those adaptogens. They are really very non-toxic, highly beneficial herbs that work on so many processes in the body in a beneficial way. So it doesn't matter if you have immune system that is more onto the autoimmune side, or it's a weak immune system because you get cold and flu and infections all the time. Those herbs are going to balance your immune system. They are immune modulators. So I hope this notion gets a bit more widely known about those adaptogens, because they can be so highly beneficial in so many chronic diseases that modern people are plagued by today in this world, like autoimmune diseases and other chronic issues, fibromyalgia or pain syndromes, migraines, digestive troubles, everything, you know. It's just beneficial for so many things in the body. So many things that could go wrong, or they prevent disease. They prevent the oncoming of a chronic disease if you are, you know, if your health is going out of balance slowly, which is also typical. You know, we mess up our health during decades of not eating the right things and not having the right lifestyle, and so many things that can go wrong. So too much stress and all that. And adaptogens is really a category of herbs that help us with so many things, like balance the stress response, balance our hormones, the immune system, are good for mood disorders. Okay, so there are many other adaptogens. Rhodiola is not the only one, and they are all kind of a bit similar in a way. I mean, they are very different plants sometimes. They are often roots, actually. And but they have some similar qualities, yeah. So there's also ashwagandha, and I have a video about that, and there are other herbs I'm going to make videos about. So check out the channel and stay tuned. Okay, so back to our rhodiola. It's actually, so I said, it's the dried up root that can be cut into pieces and then ground into powder, or kind of made into some extract that goes into a capsule, yeah. So just the ground up root pieces is something like that. It looks a bit like that. So you could make a tea out of that. I mean, I'm always a fan of having the herb just as natural as possible, in the most natural form we can get it, you know. So making a tea is just the basic form of taking herbal medicines. And if I can make a tea of something, or a decoction, which means we have to boil the tea a bit longer, we have to put the root into cold water and then just boil it for 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour would be good to really extract everything out of the root pieces, because it's a root, so those pieces, you know, they're a bit more dense, they're a bit more hard, they need time to soften, to give up their medicine to the water. So we call this a decoction and not a normal tea. So I'm a big fan of that. But in the case of rhodiola, it's also very practical to have it in a capsule, because the tea is very astringent, which means it's like puckering up your mouth. You have this dry feeling in your mouth. So the taste is not so great, I would personally say. I mean, you could just chew on the root pieces. You could eat a couple of the root pieces and chew them well and eat them that way. You could take the powder, stir it into something to mask the flavor and take it that way. You can make the decoction, boil the tea for an hour or so and drink the tea. Those would be all good options to take it. But it's also a good idea to just buy an extract. And there are so many products out there, so just try some out and see how they work for you. Usually I would say start with a capsule a day. The next day you take one in the morning, one around midday, and because you shouldn't take your rhodiola late in the day. It can give you a bit more energy, though it is not stimulating. It's not like a coffee or something that would send you totally into overdrive and up your energy a lot, but it can treat fatigue very effectively, actually. So if you, for example, if you have fatigue, and maybe you have also anxiety or something else that you want to balance with rhodiola, you would take a capsule, the next day 2, the next day maybe you take 2 in the morning, 1 around midday, then you take 2 and 2. So you up your dose by 1 capsule a day, and just see if you come to the point where you actually notice, oh wow, yes, I'm in a better mood, I have more energy, my anxiety is gone. Things like that. You should notice something. Yeah, maybe it's more about the energetic thing, or it's that it calms your anxiety, because yeah, it ups your energy on a physical level, because it's just this herb that gives you strength, it gives you stamina, it enhances physical performance, it makes you more resistant to cold or to heat or other environmental stressors. So this herb really braces you and gives you more energy. But at the same time, it's not like, you know, coffee, it makes you all jittery or something. It calms you at the same time. It calms your mind. It puts you into this serene state and gives you an slightly elevated mood. You get into a good mood. You feel a bit happier. It can kick somebody out of depression really seriously, really effectively. It can calm down anxiety. It works on so many mood issues. You know, if you have PMS or whatever, it works on so many mood issues, ADHD, all of that. It's a great herb for that, really. So if you focus on this effect that you might feel a bit more energized, but at the same time calmer, your anxiety calms down, or you get a bit an uplift out of your depression, or an uplift on your mood. So then, yes, then rhodiola is working for you, and that's amazing. So you have found your dose. Yeah. So I'm always saying, find your individual dose. It depends. It varies a lot. You know, we have those extracts and capsules that they're all differently made. So maybe of one bottle, you need 5 rhodiola capsules a day. Of the other brand, you need 7 a day. It depends. So please find out your dose. I want you to take a dose that is actually effective and does something for you. Yeah. And even when the bottle says, you know, the bottle just says, yeah, the dose is 1 capsule a day or 2 capsules a day. I mean, this is just out of, you know, a very general recommendation that has nothing to do with the dose being effective. That's not what those companies are worried about. They're much more worried about not getting any liability issues and not having any possible side effects on somebody, or they don't want you to take too much, you know, that's their concern. But I want you to take enough so that you actually get some of those amazing benefits of rhodiola. So go slowly up with the dose. Yeah, as I said, it makes me really sad if I hear, oh, rhodiola didn't work for me. How much did you take? 1 capsule a day. Yeah, of course. It was not enough. Okay. So find out your dose and you be a bit courageous and just try it out. It's a very safe, very non-toxic remedy that you can safely use. It's good if you take it over time. The longer you take it, the more benefits it will actually give you. I mean, there are some benefits that kick in right away. As I said, it's not like ashwagandha, for example. The root, the ashwagandha root, takes 2-3 weeks to kick in so that you feel like more energy or an effect. Rhodiola, you can feel it right away. You can feel more energized, you can feel calmer or in a better mood right away after taking it. So take it between like morning and midday, like spread the capsules a bit out. Let's say you take 2 in the morning at 7 o'clock, then maybe at 10 o'clock another 2, maybe after lunch, or at 1 o'clock another 2. Maybe you need a 4th dose around 3 o'clock, but don't take it too late, because if you go into the evening, of course, you don't want this slightly stimulating effect. Yeah, though for most people it's not too much. I mean, it won't probably cause you that you can't sleep, but just find this out also and take it more like in the earlier hours, not too late in the afternoon. Yeah, that's my recommendation. Okay, so yeah, try it out and leave me a comment. I hope you have learned something new about rhodiola, hopefully. Yeah, it's really an amazing herb, and yeah, it's very practical. You know, you could just put some capsules in a little bottle. That's what I carry around with me in my purse, because sometimes I need a pick-me-up like later in the afternoon, or I'm out and about or have many things to do. So I just take, yeah, I have some couple of capsules always with me, so you can take it in that way, like more casually, more like, oh, I have a stressful day, oh, I feel my immunity is down, today I need a good dose of rhodiola to get me through the day, or you have some kind of mood issues, you're close to your period or whatever, you want to treat PMS with it or something. So you can take it in this casual way, but it also has a lots of benefits that build up long term. So you take the rhodiola every day, a certain regular dose, and you will get the long term benefits of it, and it can long term just totally transform your stress response and yeah, help with mood issues, immune system, hormonal system, all those things. Okay, so try it out. Give me a like if you like the video. Check out the other videos in my channel. I have a playlist about all kinds of herbs and how to use them. As I said, I have other videos about other adaptogens. So this is the video about ashwagandha. So check that out. They're a bit similar in the long term, how they work long term on the body. Those herbs are, yeah, in this same category of adaptogens, but they are there are differences between all of them. So I'm going to make more videos also about other herbs in this adaptogen category. Okay, so good to talk to you today. See you in the next video. Ciao.